Hello, good evening, and welcome to the FB4 Daily. This is your, what day is it? Tuesday night show. Jeez, I don't even know what day it is. Liverpool have just beaten Genk by 2-1 at Anfield in game week 4 of the Champions League. A little bit lacklustre. I'm gonna say that from the start. But look, it's one of those where a job was done and we top the group now, and results against Napoli looks like it will put us through to the knockout stages. With me tonight is a good friend of ours on the Trippers, and it is Sean Dunn. Sean, how are you, my man?
Not too bad, Gav. How's things, Pat?
I'm good. Do you know what? Tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through what we thought of the team, because there was a few surprises there, and then just touch on a couple of players throughout the game. And of course, we'll as I'm going to do with all guests this week, have a little look at Man City and get your prediction. This show is brought to you by Paddy Power. A bookie's a website and an app. If you gamble, please gamble responsibly and try to do so with Paddy Power. Few people into the chat room straight away. Amos says, about time, lads. You kept us waiting. I left it a little bit later tonight, Eamon, because when the game finishes at 10 to 10, I know people like to watch the, post-match interviews and analysis and stuff like that. I can tell you, I watched it on Irish TV tonight, and genuinely, I thought the two commentators were on the cans from early on. But it was one of those. Grape Juice says 3 points is all that matters. Yeah, absolutely. Richard said, good work, lads, tonight. You never walk alone. I don't know whether that's from us or from the team, but if it's from us or if it's for us, thanks very much. He says, doing an excellent job. It must be for us. Centurion says, not lacklustre, professional. I'll get into that, Centurion. I love the way me and you kind of have different opinions. I'd actually love to have you on one night and have a chat with you, because me and you have different opinions on football, and that's what I love. When I say lacklustre, I'm going to stick with that, but I'll get to it as we go. Sean, the lineup, right? Surprised everyone. There's no doubt about that. Were you surprised? You were definitely surprised. I know that, because everyone was by the lineup he put out. But I think the biggest one for me was the Salah play it and plays all the game. He doesn't come off near the end. No, he plays all the game. That's a massive surprise for me. Was it for you?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely. I didn't think he'd play at all, to be honest, which I know he trained during the week and everything. I just thought that was him going through the motions, getting ready for Sunday more than anything else. But for him to start tonight and play the full 90 I thought it was crazy, but it worked. So what can we say?
Yeah, no, it did work, but we seen him at the weekend, and he comes on and off on about 65 minutes, if I remember rightly, against Aston Villa. People were saying he was carrying a knock. That ankle hasn't recovered. Surely that puts the ankle injury to bed tonight if he's out there playing, 3 days later and playing the 90.
Yeah, no, definitely it does. But one thing I have to say about it is I noticed him getting into a wee bit more of a groove tonight. He seemed, especially when he was taking on players, he was gliding by a wee bit easier than he was, say, against Villa. More stuff was coming off from him. Whether that was the quality of opposition or not, I'm not too sure. But he just seemed a wee bit more back to himself tonight.
Yeah, I'll get into it in a bit more detail. I'll get into it in a bit more detail in a little while. We'll move away from back to front as we go, all right? Not Red says Salah's knocking on the door. Hopefully hit City on Sunday. That's the feeling I have, not Red. I'm being honest with you. Chris says shooting practice needed. Maybe so. Not Red again says the Ox, what a signing. Seems to be finding a bit of a gear, although I had slight concerns over him in the first half as well, which I will get into as we go. Kevin Sullivan says Salah got in good positions all night, much more lively. He was, but again, I'll get into stuff. I would worry for the chance conversion, but we are getting away with it for more than 2 years, says Centurion. Yeah, I'd be a little bit worried about the conversion rate. Just I suppose there will be edgy games as we go, win by the odd goal. But I think if we were a little bit more clinical in the last couple of games, we'd be outside, and we wouldn't be even having this conversation about lacklustre or shooting practice and stuff like that. Sean, Alisson's in goal, plays well, concedes a goal, not his fault, does everything he needs to do, makes a couple of good saves, so I'm going to leave him alone. Milner at left back, done a job, but I think the change for Robertson was correct. It gave us a more natural width on the left. Trent was grand, didn't see much problems there. Great interception in the first half, a ball across the box, and he gets a toe on it to get it out for a corner. Van Dijk was Van Dijk. I thought he wandered into midfield a little bit there tonight, and I didn't like to see it.
Almost as looking as if he was looking for something to do, Gav. He got a little bit bored.
It was a little bit like that, but what happened was when he got in there, he was nearly looking for 1-2s, and when he didn't come off, we looked a bit open, but look, he probably was a bit bored and probably wanted to liven things up a little bit. Joe Gomez at the back is the one I want to speak about, though. I think it's perfectly clear that Lovren will play on Sunday now, and not because of performance tonight. I just think with Joe Gomez getting minutes there, I can't see him playing on Sunday, I'm going to be honest with you. But his performance tonight for you, Sean, what did you make of it? I'll let you go first before I give any thoughts or try to influence you on what you're going to say.
No, yeah, I thought he was grand. He didn't have too much to do. His concentration levels, though, Gavin, that worries me an awful lot, to be honest with you. He's very rash in his thinking, and he is forever letting the ball bounce. And it's something that, I don't know, he just seems like he switches off a little bit too much for me. He's good when he's on the ball, he's not too bad. His speed makes up for an awful lot of mistakes for him. But I thought he got through the game okay. Just, I don't know, he seems like he's still a good bit off for me before he gets back into that starting lineup.
Look, Kev O'Sullivan says he's not going to turn to Gomez, but he was piss poor all night. Sorry, Kev says, you don't need to apologise. Centurion, of course, is not sure of the Lovren shout after he says I think he'll definitely start. He thinks Gomez is in for a shout. I don't know whether Centurion's winding me up now, but I kind of like it. Chris Bross says, poor Gomez. Sorry, Gomez was poor again. For me, he was okay first half. He got in, he won tackles, he was front foot. That was all right. I had no problem with him. But second half, I thought, do you know what I thought, John? And I don't know whether I'm reading this completely wrong, but he looked like a player that was trying too hard to impress. Like going out there and thinking this is my chance to impress, and just playing his natural game, where he's decent in the air. He's good. He's decent with the ball at his feet when he can spread it to the likes of Trent or into midfield. He has pace to burn, whereas people get in behind him, he can make up that ground. And just watching his line with Van Dijk and stuff, he stepped out of the line a few times and got caught in behind. But to me, in the second half, he just looked like someone that was trying too hard to impress. And because of that, he was getting pulled out of position. He was rash. He was trying to win balls that weren't there to win. Is it worrying for you at all about Joe Gomez? Because the Joe Gomez I seen at the start of last season was exceptional, but he was doing everything simple really, really well, and he was covering himself, and he was very, very, extremely good. But now I'm looking at him and thinking, is he just low on confidence, and he's trying to negate that by I don't know, being a bit rash and trying to over-impress? Do I have that completely wrong?
No, I think you're actually spot on the money, because I think he's actually trying to play a catch-up to Matip a wee bit too much and not allowing himself to come back naturally. In terms of, as you're saying there, he's trying to over-impress every time he plays now, instead of just playing his natural game and, as you say, just getting through them minute by minute. But he is constantly making these mad decisions, and as you say again, he's getting caught out. He's going into challenges that aren't there and leaving a huge amount of space in behind him. So it is, but it's worrying at the moment, because it's chalk and cheese in comparison to the player at the start of last season.
Yeah, no, I've no sorry, Centurion says Gav with his classic argument, no Hendo, so the right wing was exposed. I'll get to that, Centurion, I promise. But there was one in the second half there where the ball goes out towards the I suppose the subs bench. It's out that direction. So people watching on telly know what I'm talking about. Goes out towards there. The forward is running after it. There's nothing happening. The forward looks like he's going to try push it down the wing and run after it. Gomez has plenty of pace to deal with that, and he just barges into the back of the guy. And I'm kind of going, now that's you being too eager now. It's just being too eager. So, do you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see him just go out and play a game where head it when it needs to be headed, pass it when it needs to be passed. If you have a striker in control of the ball, get up behind him. Put pressure on him, and you just defend like you've been defending when it goes back to last year. I just hope it's a case of him trying to over-impress, and hopefully Klopp goes, and Klopp and the backroom staff says, look, stop being so eager, calm down, relax. The kind of way, like even when they have a chance there second half where the fullback chips are over the back of our defence, and when you look back on it, Gomez is nearly out in the right back position, and I'm kind of going, why is he over there trying to deal with that? Stay in your position and you cut that out, that kind of way. So maybe it's just one of those where it's just over eagerness, and he probably needs to settle down and be told probably from a couple of people, listen, you're good, you have the quality, stop trying to do too much, because it's actually not doing you much benefit. So we'll have to wait and see.
I'm surprised he's actually been like that, playing next to Van Dijk, especially tonight. Like, I could understand maybe with Lovren or playing next to Matip or something like that, where there usually is a little bit more on nerve at the back. But playing next to Van Dijk, I was surprised to see him being so rash again.
Yeah, no, it's just like, don't get me wrong. The first half, I thought he was fine. The line was good. They weren't getting the one chance, the one bit where Trent gets a good interception. I did think, where's Gomez for that? Because it's gone over Van Dijk's head, and I'm thinking, where's our other centre half? But he kind of got pulled towards it. But look, these things happen as well, and your fullback's meant to be around the back covering you anyway, so that's absolutely fine. I just thought he got over eager at times, and I'd like to see him. I'd like to see someone tell him to stop it. Because if he just looks at himself and says, I'm good in the air, I'm quick, I'm good defensively, I can hold the line with Van Dijk, I can pass, I can distribute the ball very well, he'd be absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Stephen Mack says poor finishing by all of them. Yeah, we will get to that as well as we work our way through the team. Centurion says, let's not focus on defensive frailties just yet. A win and a draw a win for us and a draw in the other game. Also, the linesman didn't flag a few offsides. The linesman was insane. There was one in the first half where it's actually down Gomez's side. Van Dijk steps out. Your man's about 3 yards offside. He gets the ball about 30 yards from goal. Linesman still has no flag up until your man literally gets to the end line. It was absolutely unreal. The linesman at the time, I don't know what they're at, because when you engage with a ball and you've been offside, just put the flag up. What are you waiting to see what happens? If he goes in and scores, is he just having a laugh? Let's see if he can score here, and then I'll stick the flag up. A little game in his own head, I don't know. Into midfield, Fabinho was okay. I thought he was okay. I thought he lost the ball a couple of times. He looked, you know what? I don't know whether you agree, Sean, but having missed the Villa game and didn't play in the League Cup, did he look a bit rusty to you?
Yeah, he looked a wee bit out of sync, just with his surroundings and everything else. He just seemed that wee bit off the pace. Nothing too dramatic now or anything. He was good, but as you say, just a wee bit sloppy in his pass at times, and just getting around the pitch, he was a wee bit off it. Nothing to concern you.
No, nothing to concern me. I think, you know what, he got through the game, and he wasn't our best midfielder, but he done a job, and it's a nice enough game for him to just get back into the rhythm, and he can feel like he can work on, he can push on now for Sunday, Centurion says positives, the new lad called Ox is showing form. He really is. He really is going forward. He really is. He also says Keita didn't get injured and showed something. I slightly disagree with that, but we'll talk about him in a second. Kevin Sullivan says it's the difference between the Prem and Europe. They let play go that extra bit longer. I don't know why. If he's offside and he has the ball, I don't know why. Because he's offside. It's as simple as that. But Fabinho was okay. We get over him. I thought Wijnaldum was our best midfielder from start to finish. I thought one ball, even when it broke down, he was there. He was getting hold of it. I thought he was our best midfielder. Do you agree or disagree with that one?
No, I go along with that. He was excellent on the ball, especially tonight. Everything was just clever little passes, and he done exceptionally well for the goal as well. That was a great finish.
Yeah, he got in there, and for a guy that doesn't get a lot of goals for Liverpool, or be in the box a hell of a lot, as a lot of people would like, he gets in there, and it's a little poacher's goal. I liked it. It's just one of those. Naby Keita is the big talking point of the game for me. I've seen people on Twitter saying he was the difference in the game. He was this, he was that, the other. Do you know what? I'm struggling to see it, Sean. And I hate to say it, because I'm a massive fan of Naby Keita. I really am. I'm a massive fan of him. I think he has everything to go and be a brilliant player for Liverpool. It may be just a case of him coming back. We give Ox a lot of time and patience with regards to coming back from his injury. Keita got ruined in the summer, let's be honest about it, with the whole African nations thing. But today I thought tidy on the ball. Was looking for openings, bit unlucky with one or two. He puts a Rigi in, I think, misses a chance. He has a chance himself that he's a bit unlucky with. People, I heard the commentator say, Salah's frustrated there. Salah can't be looking for that ball across the box. The angle's too tight. It has to be a shot. But the only concern for me is going backwards. Going backwards, he looks like players are gliding by him, and he just looks like he's, I don't know, like when he's running backwards, he looks like he's running into a massive headwind. That's the only way I can put it. You know, I don't know what's your feelings on him tonight and overall, I suppose.
Well, tonight anyway, I thought he was fine. He was grand. There was nothing too major out of him. He was like that on the ball. He was okay. Tried to make a few driving runs. Better man once or twice. Maybe his decision making wasn't great at times, but he was nothing more than average. That was it. He was grand. I think people are just jumping on it that he is an average game, and people want it to be a lot more than it actually is, because so many people want him to succeed, and rightfully so. Like you, I think I'd want him to be amazing. I think he's an amazing player. The potential is there for it, but he's not showing an awful lot of it yet, Gav. So he's not, and I don't know whether it is down to all these injuries that he's had. But when defensively though, it is worrying. I've said it to you already that I think he's a liability defensively, and I didn't think he was going to be that, because in the Bundesliga he looked like he had more of an engine in box to box, getting back, making tackles. People just breeze by him now.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, I suppose I don't know whether I'm waiting for something that and I'm waiting and expecting something that's I've made up in my own head. You know, like the clips I seen him in the Bundesliga was he get it in tight spots. You know, deep in midfield, centre midfield, even a bit forward, and he'd burst by a player. A little bit of trickery, low centre of gravity. He'd burst by a player. They were never getting back to him, and then he'd look for a slide rule pass, or he'd get a shot away, or he'd do something, you know, creative around that. Just tonight, don't get me wrong, pretty on the ball, passed it well, recycled it quite well. As I said, he does open a chance for Origi and has a chance himself. I just worry that, you know, when we're that high, I'm pressing that high forward. If you do get by, you know, say for argument's sake, a Firmino pressing or an Oxlade-Chamberlain, you're going to back yourself running away from Naby Keita and opening the whole pitch for yourself, aren't you?
Absolutely. Now, maybe as well, you have to give him something that it was Milner playing left back as well, that maybe not giving him that option going forward of the runner beyond him as well, that maybe if Robbo was there, he can slide a few more passes into him and it looks that bit more impressive. But I don't know, I didn't see that much from him tonight to think, yeah, he's even going to get minutes against City. I don't even think he will there either.
Maverick says, boom, all about the 3 points. Centurion says, if I'm to worry for anyone, it's Salah's form. He isolates himself too often from LFC players down the wing. And somebody else said there, he feels there might still be a problem between Mane and Salah. They don't seem to acknowledge each other when they haven't got a pass to each other, or they've tried something that hasn't come off, you know. And you know what, they might have a point. There was one there where Salah's waiting to put Mane in, and the ball is poor. Salah kind of, you know, is a bit upset at himself. Mane's just walking away, not even looking at him over towards the cop to take the corner. But we could be reading way too much into that. I think, do you know what? I think we are, and I think until basically Salah puts one on Mane's head and vice versa in the same game, and their hugs and kisses and everything else, that'll never go away, that Burnley thing, because the media drive it. But you could look at it there tonight and go, yeah, he looks a bit pissed off from him. But having said that, it could be just one of those where the players aren't really arsed. They're in second gear, like a lot of people have said, and just get this game out of the way. I think they're all just waiting for this one Sunday. I really do. A few of them had that look off them. Let me see. Maverick says Naby needs to play his way back into form. He's not there yet. Yeah, that's absolutely a fair point. You know, I will back Naby Keita until the day Jurgen Klopp decides that Naby Keita can't do it at Liverpool. I'm being honest with you. I do that with 99% of players, you know. But it's just defensively, like, I just had City on my mind tonight watching that game, and I'm thinking, if City turn us like that and he's trying to run back, we're in trouble. That's just the way I thought. Oxlade-Chamberlain, getting a lot of credit here on the chat, and got a lot of credit for me during the game as well while I was watching it. You know, gets another goal, good finish. He sets a couple of things up. He has one in the first half where he drops his shoulder onto his right foot, and I thought, smash it. And he drops his shoulder again onto his left, and it doesn't quite happen for him. But going forward, he has got that bit of dynamism, hasn't he, Sean, where, you know, he's not afraid to get it out and have a shot, and his vision seems to be becoming a lot better when he's bringing others into play.
Yeah, no, he is. He's stretching teams an awful lot, so he's driving at teams. He has no fear, absolutely no fear. he drags defenders towards him and everything. The one thing I will say, Gav, is that he has to get his decision making a little bit better, and it'll come in time. It'll definitely come in time. It's just to release the ball that little bit quicker at times. He's just looking to beat the man. I don't know, once too often maybe.
Yeah, Centurion says we would get a run of games like Fabinho, and then we will say we said so. Yeah, listen. As there is mitigating factors with just going back to Keita for a second and Oxlade-Chamberlain. There's mitigating circumstances there. You've got one player that was out for a long time coming back and he's finding his way. And you have a Keita that was really unfortunate in the summer. He was badly treated in the summer. He's come back. He's had a couple of niggles and stuff like that, and I'm still willing to give him time. I just want to. On the ball and stuff, I just have no issues. So it's just going backwards. That's the only thing, and it's probably because the midfield is so hard working for us that they usually charge him back. The kind of way where he looks, he's struggling a little bit. Let me see. Where was I going to say? Ox played Bobby's role first time I can remember ever him doing that to Kev O'Sullivan. Yeah, he did seem to start in that position. He did. He dropped a little bit as the game went on, but he did. Ox has to figure versus City and said not red. I agree, although I think it will be from the bench. Centurion says Ox and midfield dynamism, lazy commentary. That I don't think it is lazy, Centurion. The thing is, don't get me wrong, when it comes to Henderson, say for argument's sake, I think Henderson could be so hard working. You know how I feel on that. But sometimes, he can put the odd good ball in, but it's not very rare you'll see Henderson drop his shoulder and have a shot. That's the dynamic kind of thing to do in midfield. Maybe the word dynamic or dynamism is wrong. Just something different, a bit of invention, I suppose, is the word I'm probably looking for. Let me see. Maverick says the Ox is looking hungry for chowing down on Pepe G's minions on Sunday. I think he'd be brilliant off the bench. I think I'm going to put it out there. I think it will be Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Henderson to start the game. And I think if we're looking for someone to with a lot of energy and to do something different and press City and get on there and make something happen, even if we're winning the game, just to make something happen to kill the game off, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's probably our first man. Although Lallana started on Saturday, so what do I know? Centurion says Ox post-match saying still ways to go. Yeah, do you know what, Centurion? I noticed something in the first half, and I don't know whether you noticed this, Sean. He broke away in midfield, and good burst. The guy done well to get back, got the ball, but hit Oxlade-Chamberlain quite hard in the leg, and he went down kind of awkwardly. And you know what? He felt it, but he got back up, Sean, and he got up and popped himself up and went, yeah, grand. That has to give you confidence as well, looking at his recovery and the rehab from the injury. Just to see little things like that, where he's not lying down and worried about himself, he's actually going, yeah, I'm grand, and he's up and playing. That's a good thing to see, isn't it?
Absolutely. No, he's determined in that respect to get straight back from injury. There's nothing really holds him back. His mindset is brilliant. He doesn't worry about injury again. He just, even, some players coming back from the injuries he's had would be very withdrawn from themselves and held back on the pitch, kind of just getting through the game as such without making any massive impact on their body or the game. But he gets stuck in. He's gone straight back to what he was before he got injured. Trying to get to that level straight away. Whereas even if you want to take it back to Naby Keita, where you could look at and say, is he maybe a wee bit hesitant and not trusting his body? Yeah,
it could be that, and it could be a case of Naby Keita running back and thinking, if I push myself that extra bit here, something could go wrong. He could be just nervous of that. He absolutely could. But look, overall, they both are on the pitch. They get decent amount of minutes in their legs into this game, and hopefully they both come away with no niggles or stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see come Sunday.
But just on the Ox, he was on BT there after Gav. They were interviewing him, and he had the ice pack on his ankle. He just says it was just a kick. He says there's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, but listen, there's so many players after games have ice packs on their knee or on their ankle and stuff like that. It's just to take down the chance of swelling and stuff like that. That's absolutely standard stuff, isn't it? Centurion says Fab, Hendo, Genie, midfield is slightly overused. Klopp could go for a surprise. We did play 4-5-1 for a while. Not saying a change of formation, but a surprise inclusion. There could be. There absolutely could be. I just think when it comes to this game, I think Klopp will go back to his tried and trusted. I don't think Henderson's in great form, But you know my thoughts on it. If he's out there and he's working hard and he's covering on that right hand side and allowing Salah to get at a City defence that could be some way makeshift, I think he may well go there. I was surprised when Alden didn't come off tonight. I will say that. I was a little bit surprised that the commentary did say early on if Liverpool get ahead in this game and are comfortable, you could see Wijnaldum going off with Sunday in mind. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. That could be the surprise that you're looking for. Let me see. Somebody did say the fixture issue that people are discussing today. Yeah, listen, we'll touch on that now in a couple of minutes, just after we get through the last couple of players I want to speak about. I have thoughts on that as well, believe it or not. But look, up front, Origi does well for me, Sean. He works hard. He gets in decent positions. He misses a chance in the first half. He can be caught out a little bit defensively when he's looking where he should be in relation to the left back, but that's a centre forward playing there. You know what I mean? You can't really do anything with that. And then you have Mo Salah. Lively, I will give him that. Delighted to see him get the full game because obviously that ankle issue isn't as big as people were making out. Fingers crossed. A little bit greedy. Am I going too far in saying that, Sean?
No, I wouldn't say you're going too far. I'd say he was looking for that goal. I'd say even that's the reason Klopp was playing him as well, to try and get him that goal, get that confidence boost going. There was one or two times he could have slipped through a couple of players, but that seems to be Salah's game now. He takes everything on himself. He's there to score goals. That's it. And he does seem to... He comes across as greedy these days, but I don't know if it is or not. It's hard to know.
Do you know what it came across to me as? It looks like someone that just wanted to get themselves a goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, just get himself a goal. He worked very hard. He worked very hard, I thought, you know, pressing and stuff like that. He went central for a while, looked quite good. Had a couple of chances. You know, like Dunno there says Salah man of the match. I don't think I give it to Salah. We'll have a little talk on man of the match now in a second as well. Maverick says Origi, the more he plays, the better he gets. Shame he doesn't play more. I like him off the bench. I like him as that impact player. But I think he did have a good game tonight. I will give it to Origi. I thought he worked very hard. And I just thought he had a good game. You know, one of those 7.5 out of 10 games. He does get an absolute belt in the neck as he's trying to make that finish, which is fair enough. But no, a good game from Origi, I thought. Carl Duff says, a bit harsh on Salah, thought he played well. Nice assist. Yeah, he did get a nice assist, and there was a couple of things that nearly came off him around the box. There was one where he put it between his right and left foot, a couple of touches, and if he'd have got through and stuck it away, it would have been an outrageous goal. But, you know, like Centurion asked, is the ankle issue affecting the strength of his shots? We don't know. But I'm the major positive I'm taking out of Salah tonight was he played the game. You know, I thought in 65 you'd see him hooked, and you didn't. So that's the major thing for me. And look, I wouldn't put it past Salah to go out and absolutely terrorise City on Sunday. Just he's back in a groove. Maybe the ankle just wasn't quite recovered on Saturday, but he's back now and he got through that and he's fine. I'd love to see him. Absolutely flying on Sunday. You know, he did have a couple of half chances. He snatched at them a little bit, but that's what made me think, you know, it's one of those games where he is snatching a little bit. He just wants to get that goal and get on a run again, you know, the kind of way. But
his last goal, I think, is from the penalty spot, isn't it? He hasn't scored.
Yeah, the Spurs one, yeah, and he gets that. But I think, you know, a goal where he just jinks past one or two and bashes it in the net, and you kind of go,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't scored from open play in a few games, has he?
Do you know what? Thinking off the top of my head, I can't remember. But I just think he just looked a bit over eager. Kev O'Sullivan says Salah versus Stones. He's praying for that. It's I'd love it. I think if they're anyway makeshift, I think we have a really, really good chance. Not that we don't anyway. Maverick says at the moment Salah works best when he drags players away and lays off to someone else. Yeah, that's a fair point. But I just think when he gets central, he just gets a bit of tunnel vision. But he tried to slip in Chamberlain tonight at one stage, nearly came off. So it's just one of those things. You know, I suppose we're so used to a massive level from Salah that if it drops at all, we're kind of jumping on it. Not jumping on it, but it gets over-egged a little bit, and I'm probably guilty of that as well, which is absolutely fair.
I think the same thing was said around this time last season as well, you know.
Yeah, but listen, if you look back, he's probably on a decent goals record compared to last season and the season before. So, and listen, if Salah wants to go and score only another 6 or 7 goals between now and the new year, then click into gear and go absolutely fucking mental on the league, I'm all for it. I'm not gonna be objecting to that. Centurion says I'm only calling that team Dubai FC. Okay, no problem. Man of the match, Sean, I'll let you go first.